We started Common Tables because we began to notice in the Gospels that Jesus does some of his most influential and transformational work, not through a sermon or through a lesson, but seated around a table with his friends, telling stories. In a similar way, we began to notice that many people in our community don't get together at coffee shops or restaurants so much as they share one another's homes and sit around one another's dinner tables, telling stories. So we began to ask the question, what would it be like for us as a community at this church to seek spiritual transformation around those same dinner tables, inhabiting those same spaces and telling some of those same stories, yet looking for what God was trying to teach us through one another's voices. We ask three things of our Common Tables. The first is to gather together in someone's home, in someone's kitchen, around someone's dining room table, just like Jesus did, and share a meal together. The second is we ask people to open the scriptures together, not to gather more information, but to search for what God might be saying to us today through the voices of the characters of Scripture as well as the voices of our friends and our neighbors. Finally, we ask our Common Tables to share in the rhythms of prayer and gratitude, voicing the concerns and the desires of our hearts in prayer, and also naming those things for which we are so deeply thankful for what God has done in our lives. It's these three rhythms that mark each and every Common Table, though some might look slightly different, but each give us an architecture around which we find God's work in our own lives and in the life of our community. The question that we're after in Common Tables is not quite so much about information. We're not concerned about where the Sea of Galilee is or exactly what Jesus looked like, but rather we're taking that information and asking, how do we move from this information to transformation? How might our lives look differently as we follow Jesus in the world together? What Common Tables have offered us is a space through which we might grow in intimacy and fellowship as a community, but also see the ways in which God is beginning to transform our lives and the life of our community. Common Tables have provided us a space through which we might experience God's grace in brand new ways, and from there we might experience transformation ourselves.